Here is your sports betting podcast for Thursday, August the 20th. I'm Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com. We're going to take a look at your preseason NFL primer, some baseball pitching matchups, and the latest political odds in the race for President of the United States. Now the Thursday NFL. First of all, the odds. The home team Washington Redskins 2.5 over Detroit and 40. Home team Cleveland 3 over Buffalo with a total of 40. 64% of the betting public goes with Detroit, almost the same amount. 63 are on the Buffalo Bills. 91% of the moneyline bets have been placed on the underdog Bills. The totals are also somewhat similar. 60% like the over in the Detroit game. 56% are also betting the over in the Cleveland game. We're going to take a look at the presidential odds from both the Democratic and Republican standpoints in the general election coming up. Remember, they're a better precursor than certainly any polls are. Much more accurate of who is truly the front runner. But now let's take a look at your preseason primer, brought to you by OffshoreInsiders.com. OffshoreInsiders.com always gives you the best picks on a daily basis, sports betting picks. OffshoreInsiders.com, including lead from the NFL specialist. Me, Joe Duffy, CEO of Offshore Insiders. The Lions and the Redskins. Last week, Redskins overcame an 11-point second-quarter deficit to defeat the Browns 20-17. Now, Jay Gruden, the Redskins head coach, indicated the starters could go a series or two into the second quarter, especially with the depth that they showed last week. That could be an advantage for Washington. He said he hasn't made a completely final decision. Other sources, though, are saying now he's leaning towards a quarter at the most because Gruden really wants to find out who's going to win the final roster spots, and there's not really much to decide as far as who's going to be in the starting lineup. The Skins will be without tight end Jordan Crowder and fourth-round draft pick wide receiver Jamison, Crowder. Both teams are off a win in the opener. The Lions, though, off of a rout in which they won by 20. The Bills and the Browns. Browns' second stringer Johnny Manziel should not lack motivation at quarterback. Word is he's going to have to really impress to leapfrog Josh McCown for the starting spot, but others tell us that Manziel believes that's just a motivation employing that Manziel can win that starting spot, but plenty of motivation from him. McCown will start and get 15 to 25 plays, depending on how the game goes. Manziel will follow and play into the third quarter. Thad Lewis will then finish. We're going to have some baseball pitching matchups for daily fantasy and, more importantly than that, sports betting coming up. Remember, the Master Luck Line is a power of more than 620 sports services behind each and every play, going back to the Score Phone days. It is now featured 100% exclusively at OffshoreInsiders.com, www.OffshoreInsiders.com. For Thursday, Tampa Chris Archer 1-5 in his last 9 starts. Max Scherzer 7.80 in his last 3 starts. Remember when he was running away with the Cy Young about midway through the year? Pirates Charlie Morton 11 career starts against San Fran. Morton owns an impressive 2.84 ERA. Remember, Morton, one of these guys who's been a lot better at home than on the road. Detroit's Alfredo Simon has struggled mightily last 3 starts, especially. He's allowed 14 runs and 17 hits over 17 and a third innings. Phillies, though, Jerome Williams, a 1.50 ERA, allowing 3 earned runs over 18 innings against the Dodgers, Padres, and Brewers, so he might be turning his season around. By the way, though, as much as Archer struggled lately, keep in mind 4 starts to the Astros. He's got a 2-1 record with a 1.09 ERA. Yeah, the polls say that Donald Trump is destroying his Republican field. A lot of polls have him getting as much as the next 2 competitors combined. Jeb Bush, though, still the leader, according to the Paddy Power odds. Paddy Power, a big sports book, probably the #1 political book, and they are out of Ireland. They have Jeb Bush at the favorite at 6-4. Trump is only tied with Scott Walker at 4-1. Marco Rubio at 7-1, John Kasich at 12-1, Rand Paul at 14-1. Look, they're not impressed, apparently. The odds makers aren't, by Ben Carson skyrocketing in the polls. He is at 14-1. And, a lot of other long shots down there. They even still list Sarah Palin at 50 to 1. Now we will take a look at who is going to be. By the way, Carly Farina, she is at 20 to 1, so she is starting to gain some ground. Now, here's what the odds say on the Democratic side. Of course, the polls are saying that Bernie Sanders really gaining on Hillary Clinton. The odds makers say, we're not buying it. We're not buying this scandal with the emails. Hillary Clinton, a prohibitive 1-5 favorite. Bernie Sanders at 6 to 1. Now, Joe Biden hasn't even declared, but he's listed as 9 to 1. Obviously, should he declare his candidacy, we will take a look at those odds and update them at that time. But Biden, a guy not even running, is at 9 to 1. Now, as far as who would win the general election, Hillary Clinton is even money. Jeb Bush at 10 to 3, Donald Trump at 10 to 1, Marco Rubio at 12 to 1, and they also have odds where you can simply bet on the winning party. Democrats are 4 to 6, while the Republicans are 6 to 5. And now Donald Trump, a lot of people think he's going to run as an independent. Well, an independent candidate is at 50 to 1. Joe Duffy's Picks is the anchor of OffshoreInsiders.com, www.offshoreinsiders.com.